Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you as always by Lay of the Land and hosted as always by myself, Rolene Marks. Now, yesterday, quite a significant event took place. Yes, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp were down for about 6 hours. I know, just like me, I'm sure you had to do things like speak to your family and read a book. Anyway, if you missed yesterday's edition of the Israel Brief, it's up on both our YouTube channels at the Israel Brief and our Facebook page at Lottel's site. But let's get into those top stories. Yesterday, addressing the Knesset that had gathered after the summer break, Prime Minister Bennett released some news that was really quite shocking and unexpected. He mentioned that the Mossad had engaged in a highly covert operation to discover the whereabouts of Ron Arad. Ron Arad was an Israeli pilot. He's believed to have crashed in Lebanon in 1986 and was possibly taken captive by a group called Amal. Now, any correspondence or knowledge about his whereabouts kind of dried up around 1988, and it is believed that Ron could possibly have been handed to the Hezbollah or to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard and maybe moved out of Lebanon. The trail for information about him has run dry, and the Mossad and the IDF have over the years tried to find out where he is. Now, what is really intriguing about the story, apart from the COVID nature of it all, is that a London-based newspaper called Rai al-Yum released a report today detailing the operation in more detail. It is believed that the Mossad are alleged to have kidnapped a Syrian general, taken him to an undisclosed African country, released him after interrogating him about the possibility of where Arad could possibly be. Now, what is interesting is that it is also reported that the Iranians found out about this operation and followed how it was managed. Now, we don't know too much after that, but the report also speaks about the story we brought you yesterday, which was the attempted assassination of an Israeli businessman, a billionaire who lives in Cyprus. And the report discloses that this could be retaliatory attacks by the Iranians against Israel. So a lot of intrigue around this. And the whereabouts or any information about Ron Arad has not been disclosed. And of course, if there are any updates, you'll find them right here on the Israel Brief. We now go to the United Nations Human Rights Council, and 43 countries led by Austria have signed a pledge to combat anti-Semitism. Now, the Austrian foreign minister says this is a fight between anti-Semites and those who value equality, justice, and liberty. And the 43 countries are quite diverse. In fact, they are global. They span South America with countries like Colombia and Uruguay, Asia with Japan, Africa with Cameroon, the United States, the United Kingdom, and European countries as diverse as the Montenegrins, who also took a stand against the Durban 4 conference just several weeks ago, Finland, and various others. And this really is a significant step forward to putting the UNHRC on blast for repeated resolutions that are seen as anti-Semitic in nature. Why are they anti-Semitic, some of you might ask? Because they single out Israel for opprobrium. They don't deal with human rights abuses around the world and significantly ignore places around the world where anti-Semitism has risen to alarming levels. So we thank these 43 countries and hope that many more are to follow. On the subject of anti-Semitism, we can report that President Hertzog has landed in the Ukraine, where he will join Ukrainian President Zelensky to commemorate 80 years since the horrendous massacre at Babi Yar, which saw the wholesale murder of the Jews of Kiev by the Nazis. Some 34,000 Jews, regardless of age or gender, were mercilessly taken to the ravines at the edge of the city of Kiev and shot over a period of 2 days. This was done with the aid and collaboration of many of the Ukrainians who lived in Kiev at the time. Now, over the decades, there hasn't been much commemoration. During the Soviet years, it was kind of seen or forbidden to follow or to promote one religion over the others. And the Russians would often say the Soviet victims of the Nazis, but this was specifically targeted at the Jewish community and wiped out generations. And last week we spoke to you about Babi Yar. We commemorated the 80th anniversary, and today we echo what we said last week, which is never again may the memory of all those who were brutally murdered be blessed. So those are your top stories making headlines. Don't forget you can check out our original content online. We have quite a lot of it going up this week on our website at www.layoftheland.online. You can read our tribute to Shimon Peres. We are marking 5 years since one of Israel's greatest sons and icons has passed away. It's also up on our Facebook page. Now, we have noticed that Lay of the Land, like many pages, have seen a restriction on our content and who can view it and how it is shared. So if you see any of our articles or any of our briefs or any of the content that we put up, please like it and please share as much as possible. Lay of the Land is dedicated to bringing you news and views from Israel that you won't see in the mainstream media, and also dispelling those important myths. So if you see us, please like us and share us. We're also on YouTube. Our channel is called The Israel Brief, and if you like our content, don't forget to give us a like, share and subscribe. We're on Twitter at Lay of the Land with the digit 5. That's at Lay of the Land 5. And all that remains is for me to wish you and your loved ones a safe and healthy rest of your day, and we'll bring you those top stories making headlines right here in Israel, right here on The Israel Brief tomorrow.